We're getting our secret agent on in this episode of the Gear Guide. So if you guys have never heard of Nighthawk Customs, I'd probably forgive you for it because they're known for making real steel 1911 pistols that are on the super premium side. We're talking $2,000 to $3,000 for a pistol. So most of us mere mortals can't afford one. Well, fortunately that's changed now with RWA from Red Wolf Airsoft coming out with the licensed Nighthawk Custom Covert Ops. Now what makes this the Covert Ops is the suppressor. So in the box you don't just get the pistol, you actually get the suppressor along with it. And of course it's removable as well. Now what's neat about this suppressor, it's very lightweight, it's aluminum, so it's not gonna weigh down the front of your pistol. And you gotta give the guys some credit because they solved one of the biggest problems I've had with pistol suppressors for a long time, and that's getting a good sight picture. Most pistol suppressors, or most suppressors in general, are too large in diameter and end up blocking your sights. Now some pistols overcome that by having elevated sights, longer or taller ones. You've probably seen that on like USP pistols, for example, to clear the suppressor. Well, on this one, they matched the suppressor with the sights, which makes it great, which means you can actually use this functionally and still get a good front sight picture and your target. The suppressor blocks none of that, and that's so great. I can't say enough about what a good job they did adding that detail. So the Nighthawk Customs, you do get those trademarks on the suppressor as well as the body. Back here you have Nighthawk Customs and the city and a unique serial number. And over on the left side, you get their Hawk logo and their full company name, all of it etched in white on top of this great satin black finish of the pistol. And it doesn't just end there, also on these grips, which are the Nighthawk Customs patented gator grips. Yeah, you get the same ones here on this pistol. I mean, those things alone on the real pistol are like $90 or $100 upgrade. You get them here on this Airsoft included in the package. Of course, they have their Hawk logo on there and matching silver grip screws. Now, with going with the silver motif, continues on to this solid metal trigger, as well as the barrel nut here on the front, which you'll have to really get the suppressor off to take a look at. But by taking the suppressor off, it exposes those 14mm counterclockwise threads, and they are a little long. It takes a couple seconds to get this guy off there, but it's worth it because with the threads, you can put anything you want on. So if you're running night ops, hence covert ops, and you really want to kick it up, you can put a tracer unit on the end and get those nice glow-in-the-dark shots to make sure you're dropping your opponents on the field. Of course, if you're not going to use a suppressor at all, they include a little 14mm counterclockwise thread protector that goes right on here, screws on, and sits flush. What's also really neat about the design of it is they not only made it so it actually fits around the barrel, they made it so it fits perfectly smooth, level with the barrel itself, so it won't interfere with the slide moving forward. Now, the pistol itself has a rail here in the front, so if you want to put a light or a laser on, you can do that as well. And you get some great white dot sights here, one in the front, two in the back, for easy target acquisition when you're moving through low light situations. Now the pistol itself is powered by CO2, which fits right in this open spot here on this magazine. Another great touch they did here is they mimicked the Nighthawk magazine and put a large rubber bumper. Now the reason I like this is on other KWC pistols, which is actually the OEM for this pistol, you end up getting a little bit of hand bite sometimes when you put that magazine in. By having that extra rubber bumper, it keeps your hand away from there and prevents any kind of biting between the magazine and the body as you put that mag in. Plus, if you end up dropping the mag on accident, this bumper does provide a little bit of protection if it hits the ground and prevents it from maybe getting a little dented or dinged. Now there is a hole in here so you can access the point where you were able to change your CO2, and they include the Allen key in the kit. And to round it all out, this magazine holds 17 rounds, but in my tests, I would probably short load this to about 16 or maybe even 15 because loading it all the way up to 17, the follower can get caught in a lip here and prevent feeding altogether. So if you just go with 15 or maybe 16 and go ahead and load one in the chamber, you should be good to go. Taking out to the range, this thing performed great for almost any field you could imagine taking it on, clocking in right at about 350 feet per second. And with CO2 usually clocking in an extremely high, 400 or even higher on most pistols, even the blowback ones, being at 350 allows you to play at just about every field you could imagine and not have any issues of shooting hot. So guys, if you're in the market for a great pistol that shoots hard, has a lot of kick, but still keeps it in field limits, and also looks really good while doing it, check out the Nighthawk Customs Covert Ops from RWA, and you can pick it up from Red Wolf Airsoft for right around $139 US, and you can get the spare 17 round mags for right around $29 US. So, all right, I gotta ask you guys, no suppressor or suppressor? How would you run a pistol? A suppressor looks so cool, especially like this one. I actually was able to get the end off and throw some foam in here, even though it doesn't come with foam. I found without the foam, it kind of makes a ploopy sound, if that makes any sense to you guys. Kind of a little bloop, because it kind of amplifies, it works in that way. But with the foam, it brings that odd sound down, and it sounds so good. It deadens it a little bit, because let's face it, airsoft suppressors really don't work that great unless you're dealing with like an HPA rig. But enough of the science lesson. The question here is, which one would you run it? Would you run it with? Would you run it without? Do you think these things just for looks, or there is some functionality to them? Let me know in the comment section below. All right, guys, that's it for this episode of The Gear. Gotta be back in the next one where I review a pistol with a loudener on the front that brings each shot up to 170 decibels that'll probably get you kicked out of most fields.